something that is rather contentious. First of all, I want some updates before we even go on. We hear your lecturers are on strike. What's happening? Yes.
It's true the lecturers are on strike. But you know, the issues of Makerere, it didn't begin today. They started a long way back as far as the lecturers' issues are concerned. That is their salary increment.
But at home, of course, the lecturers at university started the strike. We are waiting. Government told them it would not be able to increase their salaries this financial year. But they've said we want 100% increment. However, today we are looking at the quality of PhDs. We saw a headline in the papers a couple of weeks ago about the awarding of fake PhDs. On the whole board, we are going to look at not just PhDs, but degrees, bachelor's degrees, masters, and of course PhDs. What universities are licensed by the National Council for Higher Education to award PhDs in Uganda. We also have information that some people go out of the country and study, say, in Russia.
But they are going for higher studies, yet they haven't even gone for the lower studies.
But then get a PhD. When they come to Uganda, the National Council of Higher Education does not recognize those PhDs. An example is given of a lecturer in Gulu University who wanted to become a vice chancellor.
And had been lecturing for 12 years.
12 years.
In Gulu.
Doctor went, submitted his documents, and when they looked at them, this is not equivalent to a PhD, it's fake. What would prompt you to forge a degree?
Well, what would prompt someone from forging a degree is one, unseriousness. You see, in most cases, students come to the university and then spend a lot of time doing their own business. So at the end of the day, when they are caught up by time, they start now fidgeting. But what would have prevented that is being serious from the onset. When you are going in for your studies, you become very serious and then you follow up the program. But what would be a menace is then we people not being serious.
What sort of business do you people do that makes you go to NASA Road?
Well, I think that I think someone can be having a job somewhere, but yet the qualifications are not enough for that job. So that person, and these are people especially from wealthy families, they try to make a shortcut in education. They try to acquire much than the time they have invested in acquiring those documents.
Society treasures degrees, academics. Now when you come to institutions, lecturers, what they give is not enough to help students go out there and perform.
Yes.
Now since society wants degrees, this guy has to sit exams, has failed exams. What does he do? Has to go and forge a degree. But degrees are not only forged at NASA Road. The other day, Chambogo was calling out 1,000 degrees. Makerere the other year was like investigating lecturers who award fake marks. So it is everywhere. So the whole system is wrong. So we need to change the system so that we don't only favor or treasure academic work. Let someone get a degree and can really perform with that degree.
Right.
No one will forge a degree when they can really perform.
For me, I'm going to talk about the level of competition as far as the standards of education in this country is concerned. And for that, maybe I would love to put an applause to the government for investing at least much in education, though the quality of the education is still not very good. So that means that the quality of Uganda as a country in the past, the educational level was not at this peak. So that means that when the competition is there in the job market and everywhere you go, that means that those who didn't get the chance of going to school, they are now realizing the
importance.
Yes, the importance of education. And how can we help them as a country is one, perhaps setting up vocational training schools of which they will not love to go.
But I don't want to go to a vocational school. I want to get a PhD.
So now why I'm saying that, I'm now saying that the job opportunities are now out there. And some of these people are very good. They can even defend papers that are not theirs. So that means that they are copying up. For example, there are those, someone goes and sits where there's a laptop and does what an IT student can do. Yes. But the person didn't go to school. So the person will say, let me just forge the papers and do what? And get the job. And we've had very many people of that kind, doing even the most perfect things.
Why do you think we have more and more lecturers or people forging PhDs?
But the age of
I think it's two-sided. As in, those people who forge and give us the degrees, the fake degrees, will need money because they know, as in, to give you a fourth degree, you'll have to give me money. And I think they do give them out because they need money. And those students who need the fourth degrees, I think they do it because they're having a lot of things to involve themselves in, as in they can't give enough time to their studies. Either they do not want to research or they are lazy, I don't know. But they have a lot of activities to involve in.
I'm not sure about the time that PhDs take to be attained. But then I think it's long. What makes it long is the whole research bit of it. You cannot say, I'm a professor, I have a PhD, and yet you have nothing that we can use to tell. So these quack PhDs, if they are to be proved to be quack, I think they have to look beyond the paper. What has this person done? Because you have to at least produce something like a book that people will use to verify. So if you do not have that, why should I give it to you? Why should I, why should you get the PhD?
Right.
Because
right.
it's quack.
Right. Yes, boss.
The Ugandan job market is totally there to really contain or accommodate a PhD order in a real sense.
Really?
So you find that almost all jobs in Uganda, there is no any job you would say that this one needs a PhD order in practice. Are you getting it? All what we need is at least an at most academic level of master's degree and then exposure to the real work. For example, 15 years of experience, 20 years of experience, but you don't need any PhD degree. That's why somebody goes and forges a PhD simply because he knows on market, on job, he won't be detected.
Oh, they will just
So
fear.
no one
Yes,
cares.
they will fear.
Well, let's take a look at Tweheo James, and he'll be telling us about, especially, what does it take to get a PhD. When we come back, we'll be looking at what we can do to improve the level of education, the quality of graduates from higher institutions of learning, like universities. Take a look.
When you see the fake PhD at the top, then you should also think through up to the bottom. Because if the children at P1, P2 cannot read and write properly, if the children at P6 cannot read P3 work, and these are the children who are going to move up straight and you find them having PhDs, then there could be a problem. Of course, we cannot rule out many other options. But also, we should look at the skills and competencies these people are having at all levels, including universities. And I can assure you, in some of these universities, research has been completely negated. And I don't think anybody can finish a PhD without doing a research. That's why they even talk of publications. So there are so many courses which people do. They don't do research. Somebody finishes a master's, you ask them about research, they don't know, because they have not done it. Because the National Council of Higher Education is limited in its own monitoring and supervision of universities. The responsible centers that are supposed to monitor and follow up with these universities are incapacitated. And I can assure you, with time, you'll find a university professor who will not be able to write a project, to write a program. A good PhD should entail substantial and reasonable research, which is genuinely conducted. It should contain support information and references, and once this is done, anybody can look at it and say, look, yes, I think this dissertation is good enough for somebody to be a doctor. I think our ministry needs to style it up, especially the National Council for Higher Education. Of course, it's also limited by the laws. And if I had my way, I would call for the amendment of the university statute and make sure that at least there is sufficient supervision, sufficient control by the university's courses, by the university standards, by a specific body like the National Council for Higher Education. And if I were to appoint, I wouldn't appoint anybody below a professor to the National Council of Higher Education.
Yes, we are.
So if the gentleman has said that he will not appoint someone below below what you've had, so what are the younger lecturers, the way you have seen them, they are going, since they want to be appointed in bigger places of responsibilities, what are they going to do? And another thing, you are going to blame these lecturers, but even those who are in the system, because one, if someone can dare to his what, to his he can be so strict and follow the professional ethics of what he's supposed to do, then why would someone come and talk of giving you money? That's why you can see them crying for salary increment, because they know that even 1 million, someone comes to give you 1 million. Oh, professor, you don't have that money in the pocket. What do? You make a side business because others are driving Porsche cars. So you can as well see, you set a standard that you're not going to employ someone who is below this, and yet most of them are below that. What are they going to do?
I ask you a question. Do you think you are taught by quality lecturers?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I think we are taught by quality lecturers. Because first and foremost, you cannot question the number of PhDs which are awarded during graduation at Makerere University because of its status. Now, with the issue of being employed and the issue of imparting skills, you find that the education system of Uganda does not train students to fit in the job market. You find that when you go for a job, they ask you for the skills experience for 5 years.
Yet you've just left school.
Yet you have just left school. So for me, I think that when students are studying at universities, skills have to be imparted in them.
You know, we do cram. These days you want to pass. You're avoiding a retake. So what do? You cram, you get an A, you go through, you get a first class, you remain. But that doesn't mean performance.
That you've understood what you've...
You get it. So quality, no quality in Makerere, it is varying.
Well, the National Council of Higher Education has asked universities to send documents of all their professors and lecturers to be verified again. But as the process goes on, what are we going to do to make sure that we get quality education? Especially you guys that are turning out.
According to me, my understanding, I've just discovered that the system, it started rotting from the grassroots. So we just come to the university, some people are green, so these lecturers are qualified people, but they get problems with the balancing the green people and the red people, balancing them to get one color. So you find that someone is having a course of 2 years. In 2 years, someone who was green for 17 years.
He's almost waking up, then they give them a degree.
So that's the quality of our students.
What I'm going to say that the National Council for Education is too late in whatever it is doing. You just put a picture where people are already in the system and they have taken, good number of years doing the work, and others have been appreciated, others are even good in whatever they are doing. You are now going to verify their papers now. So in the back of your mind, there are those who are already personal. Perhaps maybe they were gross purpose at one particular point in time. Maybe others had a problem in girlfriends. Now they are going to take that so personal. And someone says this one is a fake one, this one is a fake one. They will go personal. Why don't they use the system from the initial stage that before you are taken, they first verify your documents? Now this person who was served in Makerere, for example, or any other university for 20 years, you are now verifying his documents now to find that the things are fake. Students like him, the administration is a good administrator.
It's too late to fire him.
It's too late to fire him.
Right.
Yes, let's leave them and begin with the fresh ones who are coming and verify from there.
Right. So the mistake was done already.
Yes.
Let's accept it.
Yeah,
and
we have to learn to correct.
But of course,
it is beyond repair.
But of course, it is never too late. What I really think, if at all the system was fake, then it is high time we started. Maybe
cleaning.
With those who are existing, so that after those who are existing, then those who are coming
are clean.
Of course we can't say that it's
Let bygones be bygones. 30 seconds.
Quality of education. I think, like he said, and I said in the beginning, let us all have a mindset change. Let us not put everything into papers. Let us change. We need fewer people to come to university. We need more people to go down and have skills of work. If we change our mindset as Ugandans, then no one will be scrambling to get papers. papers for what?
They
People
will have
want
skills.
skills, and that's what you're presenting.
That's
but
very good.
as much as we treasure papers, people will continue forging papers
Right.
at every
You
level.
should treasure skill.
I like that. Is it our emphasis on having relatively popular,
We're not degree. We're not PhD. No verification, no nothing.
Right. Well, the university licensed the following public institutions: MUK, Mbara University of Science and Technology, Gulu University, Chambogo University, Busitema University, and Uganda Management Institute, which is also trying to come up at the university level. And actually, Honorable Bitamazira has been appointed the Chancellor of this university.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that on another occasion. But those are the universities. The private, Ndeje University, Uganda Matters, Bugema University in Kumba, and UCU Mukono. But why should we forge PhDs? What is the quality?